In this video, we're going to look at filtering out new hire applicants. Our small business doesn't need any employees that cannot follow basic instructions. Those are the kinds of employees that can cause all sorts of problems in many different areas of the business. In fact, even considering them for an interview is a big waste of time. Fortunately, with Infusionsoft, we can create a simple hoop for a new applicant to jump through to make sure that they can follow basic instructions. The idea behind this recipe is to position the initial application submission as a two-step process where the applicant has to confirm their email address in order to reach step 2. So we're going to go ahead and look at the campaign model for that, and then look at configuring part 2, and then we're going to do part 1. We're going to build backwards, and it'll make sense why as we build the model. So we're going to go ahead and start with a web form, and this is part 1, which is to begin the application. And then we will, of course, ask for them to confirm their email. And upon confirming their email address, we're then going to go ahead and ask them to complete their application. And that'll be taken care of as a landing page, so part 2. Finish application. And then, of course, once somebody does that, we will, of course, have a task to contact the new applicant. So that's kind of what this is doing here. They're going to go ahead and begin their application, confirm their email address, and then finish. And anybody who can't even make it past that probably isn't someone you'd want to interview in the first place. So now that we've got the model built out, we're going to work backwards and build this from the right to left. So starting in this task to contact, this, of course, is what we're wanting. We're wanting people to apply, and we're going to reach out to them. So we're going to say this is a new applicant, and then we'll put their name. So this way, if you have a list of new applicants, you're not just going to be looking at a bunch of duplicates. It'll have some variety to it. And then in the body, we can say check out first name, last names, LinkedIn profile, and this will make sense when we actually look at part 1 here. So for right now, just have a little faith here. This is actually the website field. We're just positioning it as their LinkedIn profile here. You can, in the real world, maybe just have like a link to your resume or something like that. But the point is, it's just going to go in the website field, and then call them at a phone number. Schedule an interview. Okay. We would, of course, assign this to somebody and give it a priority. And now this task is ready to go. We can mark it as ready. And this entire sequence itself is now ready to go. So here we are. We're now going to go ahead and set up the part 2 application here. So this is them basically completing their application for employment after they've confirmed their email address. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in the layout and the style. We're going to turn all of this stuff off. Just turn it all off, and then we're going to get rid of any content that may already exist here. If you want to go ahead and pop your logo in the top, of course you can, but remember they're already in the middle of the hiring process, so you can just have the title of the page, which is Employment Application Part 2. And so again, if you want, you can put your logo above here. The other thing is in the styles too, there should be just a simple style, just like a black and white. I've got 400 million of them over here, but there's one called simple, and it'll be easy for you to find. It should be nice and black and white. We're going to delete this email field here because they're going to be coming from an email to this form. That's the only way to get here. So we're going to pop a hidden email field in here. And now what we're going to do is grab another snippet. And at the very bottom of this list there is append to person notes. And so this is where we're going to collect some information without having to waste a whole bunch of custom fields. So we're going to come up with just 3 quick ones. So share your personal experience, previous experience, and of course this is required. And then we'll go ahead and put a little spacer in between here, and then we're going to grab another snippet here. Same thing, this is going to be append person notes, and now we're going to ask them, do you have any special skills or qualifications? Again, mark this one as required, and I'm only going to recommend 3 to 5 questions because this is the very beginning of the person experience of somebody joining your organization here. So we don't want to give them too much to do, but collecting some information will be good for the person looking, looking at who's applying here. So we're going to put one more question in here. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing more than 5. Or you may want to strategically do more than 5, I don't know. And the last one, and I would recommend asking this always, why do you want to work with us? Kind of see what makes them tick. Alright, we're going to change our submit button. This is now submit employment application. And make sure that button's centered if it wasn't already. And there you go. This is the part 2 that they're going to be filling out. So we're almost done on the thank you page. We just want to say, thanks for applying. We will contact you shortly. Thanks for applying. We will contact you shortly to schedule an interview. And there you go. We are now done with part 2. Now there's one last thing we want to double check here. In the settings, we just want to make sure that auto-populate is checked, and this is the magic that will populate that hidden email field we have. So it's right here. Alright, so we can mark this form as ready to go. And in order to link to this form from this email, we're going to have to publish it first. So that's kind of why we're working backwards here. And there's a whole bunch of stuff you don't see on this campaign canvas, as you can see. And that's all just previous videos. This is a giant mess of a campaign in real life. But it looks nice on video. So now that we've gone and published this landing page, we can link to it from within this complete application. So this is going to go out immediately as soon as they confirm their email address, because remember, let's not lose the forest through the trees here. They have to confirm their email address to finish their new hire application. So this is now delivering that email that will allow that. So this is the complete application email. And this is a super transactional email. It's almost like, those 9-word emails, 8-word emails you see those internet marketer guys always using, where it's just really short to the point. So, employment application part 2. So they're expecting this because they just clicked on a link to confirm their email address. Alright, so thanks for confirming your email address. First name. To complete your employment application, click here and finish part 2. And we can do normal, have a great day, sign off as the owner. Actually, we can just sign off as the company. So if I was hiring, it would be have a great day, PLS Consulting. So click here and finish part 2. We're going to go ahead and link this to the landing page. So this is why we had to publish it, otherwise it wouldn't have shown up on this list. It has to be published at least once to show up on this list. So there we are. Click here and finish part 2. Employment, thank you, Firefox. Alright, no, this is Chrome. Thank you, Chrome, for letting me know that I can't spell today. So continuing to work backwards, in the email confirmation request, we're basically going to go ahead and use this pretty much right out of the box as it comes. So proceed to step 2. And so thanks for beginning your application with company name. Application with company name before we send you to step 2. We want to verify your email address and confirm your desire to apply. And then we're framing it and letting them know they're going to get an email right away. So after confirming, we will send you another email so you can complete step 2. There you go. And there you go. So even using my old signature there. Thank you. And we can't really change this yet. So this email is now ready to go. And finally, at the beginning of the chain, we can go ahead and set up this part 1 where they begin the application. So we're just going to keep this as a really lean web form that you can embed into an existing page on your website. So you can write whatever else you want around it and then just pop this bad boy right in there. So employment application part 1. So we're part 1. There you go, a little dissonance there. So we've got our first and last name required. We're also going to make the phone number required because we're going to call them, maybe, if they follow instructions. Let's say best phone number and best email. Since they're applying, we don't want them to give us any baloney emails or phone numbers. And then we're also going to add the website field. You remember in the task we set up at the very beginning, said, hey, here's their LinkedIn profile? Well, we're going to go ahead and grab the website field, and we're actually going to ask for their LinkedIn URL. Now again, this can be anything, link to your website, because that's the field we're putting it in, link to your Facebook page, link, whatever, link to a public URL of your resume. You could even use a third-party tool to actually have someone upload their resume from this page, but that is way beyond what we're doing today. And then the call to action is proceed to step 2. So part 1, collect their information, proceed to step 2, right? On the thank you page, this is where we now create that hoop and we frame them, and we're framing the need to confirm their email address. We're kind of justifying this hoop we're going to make them go through. So acknowledging their progress so far. So thanks for beginning your application. Before completing step 2, you'll need to confirm your email address. Check your inbox right now for the link. So now, instead of clicking and expecting to see another page on page 2, we're just saying, hey, thanks for beginning it. Go ahead and confirm your email address, and then we'll take you to step 2. So a small hoop, easy instructions, and there's going to be people that don't do that. So now we've actually built our filtering structure, and we can go ahead and publish this. So now, when somebody applies, they're going to submit this first web form, which sends them an email confirmation. Upon confirming their email address, they're going to receive an email immediately linking them to the Part 2 landing page. And we will only receive a task to contact the applicant if they complete Part 2, thus saving us time interviewing people who cannot follow basic instructions. And you would be shocked at how many people actually fall out. There is a model in the Infusionsoft marketplace you can download. I think it's called Easy Hiring Campaign. It's just called Easy Hiring. And when we tracked that data in 2014 for every customer that was ever using that campaign, there was a global fallout rate of 33%, which basically meant if 3 people began an application, only 2 people actually ended up finishing it. So there is an entire person that's getting filtered out that would just be a waste of your time to call in the first place because they can't follow basic instructions. So there's a couple things that we can do to expand upon this if we want. And we can further systematize the hiring process with some extra internal forms after the Part 2 landing page. So if we were to have something like this, there you go, there's all his friends hanging out on the side, and this model would join them soon. We will have a internal form, so this will be an admin, schedule applicant interview. And just give us a little bit more space over here. So you call someone, you schedule the interview. This internal form can simply just collect like a date and a time, and then of course you would send them some interview reminders. And then you can have another internal form, and I should have enough space here, which is the admin applicant interview results. And in this case, it can just be a simple yes/no of, did we hire them? If we did, then there's a, welcome aboard, and this can kick off the onboarding or the on-ramping piece of the person experience when they get involved with your organization or your business. Or if not, we can say thanks for applying, not interested. And obviously this is a very rudimentary kind of workflow here, but you kind of get the idea. Based on your specific business and what kind of functions and roles you're hiring for, you'll be able to really systematize this entire process. The other thing to keep in mind is that if we are hiring for different positions, we can basically make duplicates of this model and create a hiring funnel for each position being offered. So, part one for office person, so basically you have this flow for someone that wants to be an office person, and then you can basically, you'd make a duplicate of the whole thing for a marketing person. And then maybe you make a duplicate of it if you're looking for a software developer, and then that way, as your business grows and scales, you'll actually have hiring processes for the different roles and functions, and you can tune the hiring process for the kind of job that is being applied for. And one last thing to remind you, as I mentioned, there is the file box on the contact record, which is accessible via the API, and that's how the third-party things can allow you to upload things, upload files and resumes and headshots like that. So if you wanted to incorporate that, you could either use the API yourself or use some kind of third-party tool for that. And remember, if you want to go ahead and get something that's similar to this out of the box, download the Easy Hiring campaign from the Infusionsoft Marketplace. In the next video, we're going to look at using lead sources to track ROI.